There have been many moments in my life where people have admired or recognized my skill in something and called me talented. And obviously, I'm very grateful to be complimented and to be called talented. But every time I get that, I kind of feel the just feel the need to be modest about it and say, "Oh no, sorry, I'm not talented. It's not me. I'm not talented at all." You see, and I remember learning in grade seven about the difference between skill and talent and how talent is something that you're born with, vaguely speaking, and skill is something that you start at ground zero and you build up, and eventually you get better and better through practice or through experience. And a lot of people kind of just say talent to refer to skill, and as an easier way to say someone's good at something because it kind of sounds better to call someone talented than skilled. But um, not that I don't like getting compliments like that, but I don't know. I've always been particular about using that word and know that I've always thought that there's no real thing such as talent, and I don't think unless you're talking about some weird bodily quirk that you can do, or maybe you're born with a certain ability, then maybe that could be talent. And mainly the reason why I think this way is because I feel like when you confine something to talent, or you determine that something is just a matter of talent, why someone's that good, and you tell yourself that I'll never be as talented as they are, and I'll never have that ability because they were born with that, and I can never accomplish that in my life. I think the reason why I hate it so much is because people often use that word to confine themselves in some restriction or something that doesn't allow them to accomplish something that they want. And I think when you limit something to only achievable by talent, then you're only limiting your own capabilities. And just last night I was looking into this, and it's a growth mindset kind of thing. You know, the difference between growth mindset versus fixed mindset. And not to say that if you call someone talented, you're immediately someone who doesn't have growth mindset, but it's a way of thinking about things where um, thinking that something is only a matter of talent or a matter of being born with something. How you can only be good at something if you're naturally good at it, and how that for the most part is just not the case. Maybe eventually, every now and then you'll have a Mozart kind of person who's just a natural, but even in those situations, it's really, I believe, to be a nurture than a nature thing. And I think we're all predisposed to be able to be skilled at something, and humans kind of just have a brain that's so adaptable and so what's the word for it? So have a very flexible, malleable kind of neuroplasticity, especially at a younger age, where you can teach it very weird patterns of thinking and weird, uncomfortable things, and your brain can eventually grow to be comfortable with that. You can learn any skill basically, and it's not a matter of talent, but it's a matter of skill. And the reason why I don't like using the word talent is because it kind of, when you, at least in my opinion, when you call someone talented, it kind of makes it sound like you were born with that and you didn't work hard for it. And not to say that that is the case, but um, since I know my definition of talent is something you're born with, you're kind of just saying that, oh, you were just born with that ability. And it almost feels like you're disregarding the thousands of hours that you might have put into a skill. And for me, that's like playing guitar and being music. I've spent thousands of hours practicing guitar, and I've never thought that I've had talent in it because I was never naturally good. The only reason I'm good is because I have motivation and I have this kind of growth mindset to think that I'm not talented, but that doesn't matter because this isn't a thing of talent. It's a thing of skill and improving one's skill to the point that people think it's talent, where you seem so naturally good, you make it look easy. And I think definitely that is the goal. That's one of the goals with something like that, and with any skill in general. It's being able to receive a compliment that you're talented and make yourself look like you were born with the ability to do something. And it is one of my beliefs that no one's born with anything. And I think that everything in a person's character, in a person's skills and capabilities and ways of thinking, is something nurtured, um, nurture over nature. I think that no one's really born a dreamer. No one's born with a crazy imagination. No one's born with crazy skills and thinking, IQ, whatever. I think it's all just how you let that develop in yourself. And if I grew up, say, in a broken home, or I grew up with childhood traumas, then I'll grow up like that. I'm gonna have that in my past, especially if it's unresolved. Where if I have certain things that I haven't reconciled myself with my past, even with a few years ago, that's gonna show in my character now. Because I think we're all just summations of who we used to be and who we were, and how all of that just amalgamates into your character today. And I always tell people that the solution to anything is kind of within yourself. And this kind of ties back in with the growth mindset thing, where as we are continually changing and continually growing, we're always moving forward, and things are getting left behind. Things are left unresolved. And usually those things catch up to us in ways that we don't know. Maybe you have a certain flaw in your character that you don't realize is being caused by this one thing that you haven't reconciled yourself with, this one moment in the past, an experience you've had that kind of left you scarred, that you haven't really patched up. You feel like you haven't healed from something. Everyone has these kinds of things, and I really think that just if you feel like there's anything missing in your life and you feel like there's something wrong in you, it's really something that you haven't resolved from your past, or it's something right now that's troubling you that you don't know where it came from, or you don't know the origin. And oftentimes these are just personal things that only you can find within yourself. And when you do get help from someone, it's not even them finding it for you, it's them helping you find it yourself. And all these issues that you have within your own character are just things that are waiting for you to find. Being able to be comfortable with the self and to look into yourself and look into your character traits and things that define you and determine which ones you like and don't like. And to say that if you have something you want to improve yourself, you want to improve, then know that there's really nothing that should limit you. If you think that there's something that you want but you don't think that it's achievable because someone did it at this age, someone did it like this, in this way or that way, it's really not a thing of they're naturally doing it. And if anything, I think their skill on something should not be a problem to you either way. If someone has an easier way of doing something, or someone catches the skill better or learns faster than you, that shouldn't be a problem to you at all. Because I think comparing yourself to that kind of thing, which firstly isn't unfair, it is unfair. Firstly, it's unfair because I don't even think comparing a human being to another human being is ever fair, because we're all infinitely different in infinitely different ways. So I think the only comparison is self-comparison, and to know that you need to be brave enough to do something that you're not good at, and that's all that it takes. I think the fear of not being good enough is the only thing that can stop someone from getting exactly what they want. You know, and I think that's a reflection of why people call things just a thing of talent, where because they think it's a talent thing, they don't think that they can achieve it. And that's a just self-limiting belief. And I think that you should eliminate all self-limiting beliefs. I think also when you remove that word from your vocabulary, or you don't call yourself talented, you can kind of look at your progress in something and say that I built this from scratch. I'm good at this because I put in the work. I was not born with this ability, but because I wanted it so bad and I had motivation and I had the drive and discipline, I've gotten to the point where people think it's talent. I've gotten to the point where people want what I have because they think that it's unachievable for them. And I've made it look like it's unachievable because I'm so natural at it. And that's only because I've worked at it, not because I am natural at it. It's not even just a thing of motivation. I don't think it's a thing of working hard. It's really just a growth mindset thing, because your actions, you can act entirely based on your own thoughts and opinions and what people tell you to do, yeah. But to begin with, the way that you think determines your actions. So trying to act on something without first um, having a set way of thinking, thinking to reach an objective, you're not really going to get anywhere. So I think that, first of all, growth mindset is really something everyone should have, at least to some extent. You can obviously be realistic. There are people who are down to earth or aware of what their limits are, and there are just people who are just crazy ambitious and dreamers and do crazy things regardless of if they know they're going to make it or not. And wherever you are on that scale, you should have at least some level of growth mindset, to know that I don't have to be good at everything, and I'm not good at everything, but it's my choice to grow in certain things that I want to improve on. And I think that is the case. You can learn anything as a human being, and anything is achievable. And this all sounds cheesy. Yeah, you can do anything, but I think it all starts with the mindset and the way that you think. And so maybe the first thing for a lot of people is abolishing the idea of talent and natural talent, and that even if there is such a thing as natural talent, it's not something that you need. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. That kind of thing. All those cheesy quotes, man, they help you out, and they've helped me out. You know, Just to first believe in the fact that you can do whatever you want as long as you have the growth mindset and the willingness to put in the work to grow, and the preliminary belief that nothing is really up to talent and you're not really born with anything and no one really is. And yeah, that's just the way I think of it. So that was the other video that I recorded today. And, starting to record more. I think it's a good thing. And that's about it. I'll see you in the next video.